You know, I want to be closer to everybody, and I just feel like we missed out. And I think that reflects back on what we did, and that was cutting it short.
When the girls hang out all the time, and sometimes I don't get invited, and I don't appreciate that. Or like you guys set times to go dress shopping, and then I say, okay, let's go, but then you guys go earlier.
Am I the only one who's curious as to why Dom went off? I think something happened. I think because of the tension between Dom and Gina, because of the Clint kiss and the Mac sort of dating Gina, I think this is where the tension was created. And I think the ladies ended up having to pick sides. And because they knew Gina longer, I think they might have picked her side. And this is why Dom felt that they were leaving her out of certain situations. But anyway, it's just an assumption, so I might be wrong. Anyway, hey there, it's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 16, Nashville. Where are they now? I was really debating whether or not to review this episode because I don't understand the purpose behind it. Did Lifetime order too many episodes and the producers run out of material, and this is why they keep making stuff up? Anyway, I digress. The episode is everybody catching up, so you have all the girls coming down. Apparently, it's Shaq and Airris's birthday, so they're going to have their birthday celebrations. And Kirsten, I think, is the host. She's the one who found the accommodation. So she meets up with Jasmine. They're still very good friends. I think they're the closest since the wives met. And then you have Nicole coming down with Gina, and then Dom arrives on her own. And you can see that there's already tension. They don't want to say anything, but you can see something is not right within the group. But hey, it is what it is. The girls then go for a sound bath, which they appear to enjoy, although some of the people were not paying attention. I don't think it's Jasmine's thing, neither do I think it's Gina's thing. And then Clint arrives. As soon as he arrives, they sit down and off we go, talking about Gina's salon. And I have to give it to Clint because he asked, why do we have to keep going? Every time it's the salon, the salon, the salon. And Nicole says, oh, I'm now the marketing manager. And it's like, yes, you are the marketing manager. You've seen that people have complained bitterly about this. Can you give us more material outside of the salon? And Gina's, oh, this is all I talk about. This is my life. And it's like, yes, it's your life, but we don't need to see the salon. You must have a life outside. Would rather see you with your dog. I would rather see her on a date with Mac than for us to continue to hear about the salon. If she wanted to talk about her business, she should have gone on Shark Tank and pitched her business there, and that's more where it suited. This is a marriage show. We do not want to hear about her business anymore. Oh my god. So Shaq arrives, and everyone is happy to see him. Kirsten and Shaq, I think, are dating and are sort of keeping it on the down low until they know exactly where they stand because of their body language. As soon as they saw each other, they did start to have conversations about everybody in the group was sort of asking. So Clint then asked everyone in the group that are all the single people dating? Have they met anyone? And everybody was sort of awkward and they turned it back on Clint. So Clint said, yes, he is dating someone. Nicole has met the person. And you could see on Gina's face she wasn't happy. I don't think she was happy. I think she wanted to be the one who was further down or in a more secure relationship before Clint got into one, because I think she always felt that she was the better out of the two of them. And so the idea that Clint has met someone, I don't think sat very well with her. They then asked Gina. Gina says she is dating someone she's known for 10 years. And I'm like, what happened to Mac? I thought she said she and Mac had a great connection. How has she moved on from Mac and she's dating somebody else? Was it just a fling then with Mac? What was it? It doesn't make sense. And they were just about. Shaq says he's dating someone. He's well, actually, Shaq said he's been on multiple dates, and he was very vague about it. And I'm thinking, is he dating Kirsten then? Who else would he be dating? Because Kirsten didn't really seem phased by it, which makes me think that he is dating Kirsten, and maybe they've been making arrangements to sort of meet up wherever he's living and sort of go on dates and stuff. And then immediately, just during that conversation, Chris arrived, so they had to stop because everybody had to greet Chris, and the guys went down to play pool. And so they were just talking about relationships and the fact that how is married life for Chris and Nicole. And personally, I think I still don't understand Chris and Nicole's relationship. I don't know whether it's the editing or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm used to different types of relationships, but the fact that Chris says, "Oh, we get along. We do have a minor sort of disagreements here and there, but otherwise there's no arguments and stuff," and it's like. Was it the editing that misled us then, that Nicole is too intense, or has Nicole really mellowed herself and changed herself so that she can stay in this marriage? That doesn't make sense to me. Shaq obviously has told everyone that he's got a promotion. It seems Dom has got a promotion as well. So they all seem to be doing great career-wise, and they're all coping in various ways with the notoriety that comes with them being on the show. I still think well, I'm happy for Clint because he's found someone who appreciates him for who he is and loves him for who he is, because it seems like they've already told each other that they love each other, which I'm happy for, because I always thought Clint was a great guy. Airris then arrives and is having a chat with the guys, and the guys are sort of just joking with him about the fact that he's now free to date whoever he wants and he doesn't have to wear a ring. And it's like, I think Clint left with growth from the experiment. I think Shaq left with growth. I think everybody else left with growth, but I'm not sure about Mac and Aries. I think they were still work in progress. I think they still need a lot of work before they settle down in any sort of relationships. I don't think they're ready. I think they shouldn't even be dating. I think they should have both gone to counseling, sort of worked on their issues, and then decided to move on and date other people. So the food is ready, and they all sit around the table and they're having a conversation about the comments and the hate mail they've received post show. And for me, surprisingly, okay, I get, Clint saying he did get some hate mail initially. I think it was about the type of woman he preferred. So I get how people were offended by that. But at the same time, he was talking about his type. He was not criticizing Gina or Gina's body type. He was just saying, this is what I like. Just like people say, I like blondes, I like brunettes, I like. So I didn't take offense to that because that was not directed at me. That was him just talking about what he likes. So that did not affect me in any way. He then talks about the fact that he is offended sort of when people criticize Gina because they don't see her in full effect. And someone like me has criticized Gina, but I've criticized Gina for the fact that she's always spoken about her business above everything else. And during this conversation, she brings up her business as well, because she talks about, I've received a lot of hate mail on my Google reviews, I've received a lot of hate mail in my business accounts, and it's like, why does everything have to come back to your business? This is my issue with Gina, that we never really got to know Gina the person. We got to know Gina the businesswoman, we got to know Gina the dog person, and we got to know Gina about Gina Salon, and that's it. I don't remember knowing anything else. And her employees, we never got to know what her hobbies are outside of that. And so I can understand people criticizing her for that, and I still stand by my point that I think she went on the show more to promote her business than anything else. Chris obviously was unhappy with the reviews that he had, and the fact that people said they were trauma bonding. Well, that's how it came across. That's how it came across from the edits, because they both said what they'd been through, and I think this is why the viewers got that impression. Nicole, the comments she made before the wedding are the things that people said, held on to, people like me. And this is why I am curious as to why she suddenly done a 180 and she's completely different. She's not as intense as she was before. Although one of her comments at the table hinted that she was being intense when she read the comments. So I don't see any problem with that. Shaq spoke about how he was upset about the way Kirsten had been portrayed, or the comments people were making. I think a lot of people's issue with Kirsten was the fact that she held on to the fact that she didn't have any hair. And I remember saying I wish she could see beyond the hair, because this is a great man for her, and I wish she could focus on that, and she might be surprised that she would actually find an amazing partner. Everybody else, well, Dom obviously has already spoken to Mac about the fact that she's been receiving negative, comments and this, that, and that. I don't mind people criticizing the things that they see on the show. I think my problem is when people start sending death threats, because that, I think, is going a bit too far. These people are just doing the best they can with the material that they're given. They're not professional actors, so you can't expect them to be perfect all the time. Anyway, everybody goes to sleep, and in the morning, it seems only a few of the people stayed in. Everybody else must have gone back to their own places. So the ex-spouses decide to play a game. Nicole and Chris are not there, so I assume they had gone the night before, and Airris wasn't there as well. Jasmine, I think, came overnight, or she came in the morning. So Jasmine decides to be a referee because it's odd numbers. And so it was interesting. I liked the game, although I thought the teams were shady. Even Jasmine agreed to it because they did random picks. So they picked numbers from a saucepan, and Clint was on the same team with Shaq and Kirsten. Surprise, surprise. And then that left Mac to be on the team with his ex-wife and his, well, in quotations, ex-girlfriend. I think they did amazing. I think it was interesting. It was good for them to let loose and just enjoy themselves and just be free. And it was good to see how competitive they can be. After the game, Gina and Max sat down to have a conversation, and it's like, why do we need this conversation? We all know they were not serious about one another. We all know they have issues. This is why they would never have worked. Gina was saying, Mac didn't pursue her for a second date. And I think partly it was to do with what he saw on the show. I'm going to say that. Gina did not come across great on the show, and I think because of that, that could have put him off. Because he says, well, he should have pursued her, but he missed his shot, and he's taking time to get to know, to just be on his own and just focus on himself. And if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And for me, I'm like, if you really liked Gina as much as you said you did, you would have still pursued her, regardless of the fact that she was dating somebody else, because she's not yet committed to someone. I think Mac disengaged from Gina. And I think having a conversation with the experts and Dom also showed him that he might have been pursuing Gina out of spite and not because he really liked her like that. That's the impression that I get. Because why else would he be going on about someone and then suddenly switch off? I think, one, he saw how Gina came across on the show, and two, sitting down with Dom and finding peace with Dom after speaking to the experts. I think this is why, because you can see with Dom, they're very sort of caring towards one another during this weekend, because she was helping him with his makeup, she's chatting with him, she was the first person to run and greet him when he came at Mac. I think with Gina, I think it might be something he was trying to do as a way to get back at Dom, because he was hurt by the way she ended their relationship. That's the impression I get. So Clint prepares a meal for everyone, and it's a 5-course meal. He says the meals are based on the couples, and I found it very sweet and very endearing. The fact that he actually took time to think about each couple and what they represented, and was able to speak truth to that. I think Clint's love language is acts of service, and I think it's a pity that Gina did not appreciate this from him. I know everyone was very appreciative of the meal. It was nice to see the couples speak positivity into one another. I was touched by Aries actually becoming tearful when he spoke about his relationship with Shaq and how that had evolved, and how he saw Shaq in his life as his younger brother. And it's nice to see the growth in Aries. And the fact that he spoke about Kirsten and said, Kirsten and he and himself, Aries, entered the experiment with the same ideas of what they were looking for. But surprisingly, Kirsten was able to turn it around and actually grow. She was able to see the good qualities in Shaq. Yes, they had issues, but I think she made the progress that this is what he was acknowledging, which was nice to see. Even when they spoke about the other couples, Dom and Mac, it was nice to see that everybody understood that even though their relationship didn't last long, there were qualities that they had seen and that they appreciated of one another. And I really liked the thought that went into the process, and the fact that Clint took time to sort of explain what each meal represented in regards to the relationships. Surprisingly, Eric said he really enjoyed the going through the experiment, and if he were to do it again, he would want to do it, and he would want to do it with Jasmine. I think one of the things that turned Eris off Jasmine might have been her teeth, and it's surprising that now she's had them done, and I think she still looks the same. I think she looks the same. I think it's very shallow to focus on somebody's teeth, but I did see that online when people were criticizing her teeth and stuff, and saying that maybe that's one of the reasons why he was put off. I really don't know what really put him off, whether it's the teeth or something else, or the fact that he thought she was not a freak, but she was an amazing partner for him, and it's a pity that he didn't acknowledge that, and he didn't see that in time. Everybody sort of agreed that Eris did make a change, but he made a change, but it was too late. Um, Eris thinks that Kirsten and Shaq are being very vague. I think Kirsten and Shaq want to make sure that if they're going to do this, they're going to do it correctly. And I think they are not going to acknowledge their relationship until they are sure that yes, they want to stay married, and yes, they will actually want to make it work. Um, Gina and Clint. I'm surprised Gina still doesn't see the positivity in Clint. I don't know what she's looking for. I'm really curious to see who she's dating and what their qualities are, because I think Clint is amazing. He's intelligent. He's got a job. He's hardworking. He's able to cook for you. He travels the world with you. I don't know what she didn't see, but hey, that's just me. So the guys sit down with Shaq, wanting to find out what's going on with his marriage, and it's like, why does it have to be so vague, and why does it have to seem like, it's some sort of complex surgery? He can just tell her, is he interested in her or not? That's it. Or is he wanting to take time out, see what he wants to do with himself before he comes back to Kirsten? Instead of keeping us, oh, wait until next season. And it's like, no, don't waste our time. I don't know why you need to be vague. I think you just need to tell people that give us a time to sort of mend the bridges that were burnt during our marriage, and then once we've done that, we'll come back to sort of, oh, if we're meant to be, we will be. If we're not, we won't. And it's like, what are the producers telling him to say? This is getting old. And then he goes on a date, or he goes for a walk with Kirsten. They're having a conversation. They're happy to be in a good place. They understand that everybody in the world wants them to be together, but they are going to work at their own pace. They appreciate one another, and it's like, oh, God Almighty, we don't need to hear all this. Just tell us, are you still interested in pursuing a relationship, or are you not? Or say, we don't want to get people's hopes up high and then things don't work out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on a friendship, and if that progresses to something, then fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Instead of you, oh, if we're meant to be, we will be. If we're not, we're not. Oh, okay, Shaq, you're free to call me anytime you come to Nashville. I'm always here for you. And it's like, oh my God, this is getting old. I don't know why they're wasting our time. It's either they like each other or they don't. Because Kirsten still calls Shaq babe or something, or whatever she was calling him. And so it doesn't make sense to me that they want to continue to play these games with us and continue to sort of string us along as though anything is going to change. Are you guys going to stay together, or are you not? Just let us know, and that's it. So everyone meets up for drinks, and I think something happened. The editing wasn't fair. I wish they had shown us the full argument or the commotion that led to Don's comments, because Max sort of spoke about the fact that yes, it's nice to see everybody and they're all very close, but he wishes he and Dom had gone through the whole process. And this is what I mean, that I think Max's relationship with Gina was based on his anger towards Dom, because he says he feels like they missed out on a great opportunity. I think they have a better understanding of one another, and this is why he regrets them not going forward with the process. And then Dom sort of spoke about the fact that, it is what it is, but she doesn't appreciate the fact that she's always sort of left out by the girls, whether they arrange to go shopping and then they go earlier than her, or they just don't contact her or whatever. She understands, yes, they spent more time together, but it would have been nice to have been included. And to me, that says a lot, because Jasmine was shocked. She didn't understand what was going on, but I think the other girls knew what was going on because they didn't say anything, which tells me that something happened. Either a comment was made, or Dom found out about something during the week where the group was together, and this is why she exploded. Whether there was a fight that took place and it was sort of edited out, or there was a commotion that happened and it was edited out, something happened that sort of resulted in Dom sort of making the comments she made. And it seemed the other girls, Kirsten, Gina, and Nicole, understood what Dom was talking about, but Jasmine was completely lost. And I think this is because she's been coming and going, so she hasn't seen everything. And so either the producers went and told Dom something, or Dom found out something through the girls. She was really upset, and it's interesting that we didn't get to see it all play out. They just left on this happy kumbaya moment, and then the next thing we see is that at and then the next thing we see is Shaq and Airris's birthday party. I think the birthdays was cute. It was nice to see them celebrate one another. I think it was nice. I don't know. They behave some type of ways towards Dom, and I think this is why Dom was upset. I don't know whether the ladies went dress shopping for the event, and this is why Dom was upset that everybody actually did go dress shopping and they went a different time to her. They avoided going with her. I don't know whether it's because of the awkwardness between Gina and Dom, or what exactly was going on there. I didn't get that. And for Gina to feel some type of way about Dom doesn't make sense, because this was Dom's ex-husband. I think maybe what upset her was the fact that Dom kissed Clint, more or less. That's the impression that I get. Anyway, at the party, after the party, they go in and Kirsten and Dom leave. And Dom is right to acknowledge the fact that she regrets ending her marriage after 12 days. She was very premature, and she's learned that she needs to be more open-minded, and she needs to sort of not cut people off at first sight, but allow people the opportunity sort of for her to get to know them better and to gain a better understanding of everyone. With regards Shaq and Kirsten, Shaq and Kirsten get on my nerves because Shaq keeps saying there's a spark there, there's a spark there. I think Kirsten acknowledges that it's a pity that they both didn't start on the same footing. I've always said in my reviews they could have been the next Brianna and Vincent had they both been attracted to one another on site. This could have worked out amazing for them. But the problem is Kirsten was focused on the hair, and by the time she developed feelings for Shaq, it was too late because she had criticized him so many times it had turned him off. Now he wants to sort of start them back up, and I don't know whether she is ready for that. I think she's very protective, which she's right to do. She's right to protect her heart because she doesn't want to put herself out there only for this man to turn her down. So I don't know how that will play out, but I have a feeling if we don't hear that they're together, that means that they dated and it didn't work out. If it worked out, then we will find out eventually that they stay together. But the way Shaq keeps going on, there's a spark there, there's a spark there. I think he's leaving the door open in case they decide to continue in their marriage. I think this is why he doesn't want to say that, no, we're done. I think they are dating, but they don't want everyone to know until they're 100% sure that they're going to stay together, because I think this would disappoint a lot of their family members and a lot of people, and so they don't want to face the backlash of their marriage having failed the second time. Um, I purpose I personally do not understand the idea behind this episode because we barely saw anything. We did see them meet up and play games, but hey, it is what it is. So Nashville for me, it's a pity that some of the people were there for the right reasons. People like Clint, I think, was there for the right reasons. Jasmine was there for the right reasons. Shaq was there initially for the right reasons, but his expectations were very high. Kirsten was there for the right reasons, but her expectations were too high. As for Airris and Gina, I don't know where they stood. I don't know where they stood. Mac, it's very difficult for me to judge. Gina, I think more was there for her business. But anyway, I digress. It's been a long season. I hope next season is better. I think they need to change the formula, or they need to change the producers, because I'm surprised that Married at First Sight has less of a success rate as compared to Love is Blind when they're both being produced by the same people. So that doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.